Welcome back to my kitchen here in London, Ontario. I'm Stephanie Munch and it's dessert week. So I am satisfying the sweet tooth today, and today for my first recipe I'm making pink puff pastries. Pink puff pastries are probably the ideal dessert to bring to a baby shower or maybe a little princess party. I've personally made these when I've had girls' nights to watch all those girly movies that we love. Really easy recipe. All it calls for is some pre-packaged puff pastry. It comes frozen, so you let it thaw in the fridge and then it's ready to go. And we're going to fill it up with some cream cheese, a sweet cream cheese mixture, some raspberry filling that's been thickened with cornstarch and water, and then some pink sugar to top it off. So very excited. So let's just get started. All we need is some light Philadelphia cream cheese. You could essentially use strawberry Philadelphia cream cheese in this one as well, or any of the fruit fillies would be great. So I'm going to take half of this container, which is half of a cup. It's nice and soft, so it's ready to combine. And then I'm going to take a quarter cup of white sugar and then just get those mixed together. So it's thoroughly combined. Just some sugar and light Philly cream cheese makes for a wonderful addition to any dessert. So what we're going to do now is just roll out our pastry. Pastry comes in a couple of different styles. I personally like this one because it's flat and easy to work with. So this is the one that I always look for. It comes with two rectangular puff pastries in a package. And we're going to use both today. So just roll it out on my clean work surface. I'm going to turn these out and then cut them to the shapes that I want. So using my pizza cutter, all I'm going to do to keep it simple is I'm going to keep these in squares today, or rectangles. I'm going to cut 4 relatively even strips of each puff pastry. And then I'm going to fill it. So I've got my cream cheese mixture. I'm going to take about a tablespoon and place it in the center of each one. I should say it's the center of the bottom half of each one. And then I'm going to do the same with our thickened raspberry preserves. So you can make this with so many different kinds of flavors. You could do your favorite jam. Could be apricot, could be strawberry, blueberry, mixed berry. Any of those would be delicious in here. So we're putting just about a teaspoon of the raspberry filling right on top of the cream cheese. There we go. So the colors are just gorgeous. I'm just going to add a little bit of water into the container I had my sugar, and I'm just going to dip my finger in and then just put some water around the edges, because when I fold this over, I want the edges to stick together. You can do that with water, you can do it with milk, you can even do it with an egg wash. So now they're all folded over, and I'm just going to crimp the edges with a fork to make sure that the edges are sealed. And I'm going to start putting them on my lined baking sheet. I've got it lined with a silicone baking sheet for just ease of cleanup and work afterwards. That's a big one. That'll be for my husband. So they're all ready to go, and now I'm going to top them with the pink sugar. To make pink sugar, it's so easy. All you have to do is get some red food coloring. I've got half of a cup of sugar here. Whatever sugar I don't use, I'm just going to store and use for another dessert. And just a few drops of food coloring, and you just mix it and keep mixing it until it's pink all the way through. This would be fun for a little person in the kitchen to get involved. They'd probably be so excited to see the sugar change colors as they stir it. And a little really goes a long way. All that sugar in just a few drops. And there we go. We've got our pink sugar. So what I'm going to do is I've got a 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter right here. I'm just going to brush the butter all over my pastries and then sprinkle them with pink sugar. Butter makes everything better. And I'm being very liberal with this sugar because the purpose of them is these are pink puff pastries. You don't want anybody to mistake what these are for. And while it probably appeals most to us girls, they're just as delicious for all those men out there. There we go. I'm going to pop these into a really hot oven at 425 degrees. My oven is preheated for approximately 10 minutes until they're puffed and golden on the edges, and we'll be back to enjoy them. We're back, and our pink puff pastries are all cooked up. So I made a larger bunch today than I normally would, probably actually double the size. So the time was actually 25 minutes to cook. I took them out and I let them cool just for a few minutes because I still like to eat them when they're semi-warm. And now I've just stacked them up on a nice glass dish. I'm going to give them a try. Nice and crispy, fun to look at. I'm sure that all your guests and your friends are going to love them.